Hello everyone, it's Rita, and today I'm doing my November TBR. And I know we're already a week into November, so a couple of these books I have already read, but they were on my TBR at the very beginning of the month, and I'm just late with this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and include them. I think I'm gonna go over those ones first. So the first book is The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richards. And this was a book that my library had as one of its ebooks that you could borrow, so that's why I got it. And I already listened to this one. So it's basically about this traveling librarian who goes around and delivers books to people who live up in the hills in Kentucky in the 30s. And the thing that drew me to the book was that her skin is blue. So yes, that was on my TBR. I did already listen to that. I'm not going to go over it since I'm going to be doing a wrap-up video at the end of the month, but yes. Next book, Searcy by Madeline Miller. This was another one that I've already listened to, and I didn't even realize that Read by Zoe's book club was doing this book until I saw that their video had come out. So I'm like, oh, it's perfect. I'm already listening to it. So that was originally on my TBR anyways, and I'm not going to go into that one either. It's about Greek mythology, about the character Searcy, and she's the witch of Aiaia, and it's just told from her perspective, which you don't really hear a whole lot of in Greek mythology. Mostly you hear about like the heroes and the demigods and stuff, but this is just a little water nymph whose dad was the sun god, and it's just her story. Next one is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I had started listening to this back in, I want to say September, or maybe it was October. I don't know, September or October. And my goal was to finish it this month, and this was another one that I already finished. So, well, not that I already finished, but that I have finished when I'm filming this video. So, I've already listened to that one. And it's the second book in the Six of Crows duology. And yeah, you can't really say anything about it without giving away stuff if someone hasn't read Six of Crows yet. But yeah, it's just the second book in the series. Next is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I know I'm not pronouncing that last name right. So I joined the Book Turners book club, and it's Chelsea's book club. I'll link her channel below. I'll link everybody's channel. If I'm doing a book club, if I'm reading a book along with them and they're doing it for their book club, then I will link their channel below. So Page Turners has two different books that they're reading for November, and one of them is The Serpent and Dove. That one, and what's the other one? A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simon. So those are the two books I'll be reading for Chelsea's book club. And I just started listening to The Serpent and Dove yesterday, so I'm not too far into it yet. I don't really know a whole lot about it. The only thing that I really know is that it's about witches and witch hunters. It sounded interesting. I kind of wanted to read it last month for like Halloween, but I didn't get to it. So I figured, you know what, it's fall. We're still kind of in spooky season. So I'm going to go ahead and read that one, or listen to it since I'm listening to it as an audiobook. All right, next up we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. And I started reading this one at the end of October, but I didn't finish it until the beginning of this month. So it was still on my November TBR since I needed to finish it. Oh my god. Okay, I love this book, by the way. But this is it's set in a circus, and it's about this competition that's like kind of shady, but it's so good. Like, so good. I love this book. So yeah, that was on my November TBR, but that's another one that I already finished. And then Next up, we have The Sun is Also a Star by Nicole Yoon. I've had this, well, no, actually, I just got this book, but I've been wanting to read this book ever since it came out. And again, this was on my TBR at the very beginning of the month, and I already read this one. It's basically, it's not instant, well, I guess it technically is insta-love, but it didn't feel like it. This is about a Jamaican girl, Natasha. I'm really horrible with names. I can love the book and I still won't remember the characters' names. It's about Natasha, and she and her family are going to be deported. And she meets this boy whose parents want him to go and become a doctor, but he doesn't really want to do that. And his name is Daniel. And the whole book is set over the course of one day, and they basically fall in love. So, yes. All right, next up, we have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this is another one of the books that I've been wanting to read for a while. Sorry, my dog. Yeah, so I've been wanting to read this book for a while, but I just haven't gotten to it. I don't really know a whole lot about it. The only thing that I know is that it's about this lady who was I want to say she was a movie actress person, and she's looking back and reflecting on her life and her husband's, I think, something like that. I don't know. It sounded interesting. It sounded like something I would like, so that's why I picked it up. All right, next up we have Sadie by Courtney Summers, and I know absolutely nothing about this book. Literally nothing. I just know that a lot of people have read it and they've liked it, and I haven't even read the summary yet. And honestly, I kind of like being surprised by books. When I pick out my books, if I'm buying them, yeah, I'll read the summaries to figure out if it's something that I would like to read. But I don't remember the summaries ever. So when I go back and I'm picking books, it's kind of at random. And usually I don't go back and I don't read the summary again. I kind of like being surprised. So half of these books, I have no idea what they're about. I'm just saying these are the ones I want to read this month. So I'm sorry if y'all wanted explanations or something on the book. I don't know. And I'm not going to go back and read them because I like being surprised. So I figure explanations can go in wrap-up videos. TBRs are more just this is what I want to read this month. Next up, we have The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. So this book was one that I kind of wanted to read last month, but I didn't get to. It's I'm only 100 pages into this one. You can see where I dog-eared the pages. Yes, I dog-ear pages because I'm horrible about finding bookmarks. So this is about a little town where every year these 3 witches come back and inhabit the bodies of 3 of the town's girls, and then they each go and drown a boy. Because when they came to this town 200 years ago, the people accused them of being witches, and they drowned, they threw them over the cliff and they drowned or something like that. So every year they come back and they enact their vengeance on the town by possessing 3 girls and then using the girls' bodies to drown 3 boys. Sometimes they drown more than 3 boys. So I like this so far. It's very spooky. Next we have Salt of the Sea by Ruta Zepedi, and the only thing I know about this book is that it's historical fiction, and I want to say it's set in World War II, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's another one of those books where everyone was reading it. I read the synopsis once, it sounded good, so it's going on the list for this month. All right, and next we have A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavalleo. I know I'm not saying that last name right. So the only thing I really know about this book is that it's about the descendants of Sherlock Holmes and Watson. And they go around and they solve all these mysteries and stuff. That's all I know. And I don't even know if that's 100% right. That's what I vaguely remember from that one time where I read the synopsis. So, alright. And next up we have Witch Child by Celia Rees. Again, I feel like I'm reading all of the October books that I wanted to read in October, but I didn't get to, and I just moved them over to November. So, yes, this is another kind of spooky Halloween-y book that I'm reading now. And the only thing that I know about it is what the back says, and it's basically about this girl who escapes to an American colony, and she's a witch. And it says that she is trying to hide her true nature from the Puritans, and how long can she keep running? So this sounds like a book that's right up my alley, because I like these type of books. Alright, and the next book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the book that Read by Zoe's group is doing, I think. Yes, I had 2 books this month that Zoe's book club was doing. It's her, Haley from Haley in Bookland, and Hannah from A Clockwork Reader, that they do this book club, and it's called Bookmarked, and then they do a live show each month where they discuss the book. And so I'm trying to like read along with them so that when I watch their live shows, I'll actually like have read the book and I understand what's going on. So November and December's book is Ninth House. And the only thing I know about it is it's set in like, I want to say a fraternity house or a sorority house. And like there was a murder and like there's rich kids involved, I think. So I don't know. I've heard that it's a different type of writing from what Leigh Bardugo normally does, because she wrote the Six of Crows duology, which, gonna be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of those books, but I do want to read them like in book copy because I listened to them, so I think that might have something to do with it. So I want to read something else of hers, because like I feel like she's a really good author, and maybe Six of Crows just wasn't for me. So I'm really curious to see how the Ninth House is. All right, and next we have A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simon. And this book is the romance book for Chelsea's book club. And I feel like I've been saying the name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the Page Turners, but I'm not 100% sure. I will link it down below. I'm really absolutely horrible with names. So, I'm like 2 chapters into this book. I'm reading it as an ebook, but I don't really know a whole lot about it yet. I'm a little bit confused where I'm at in the story. Like, I know there's this group of kids, and then this one girl likes this one guy, and it's a romance. So, I don't know. We'll see. And next up we have Speak by Lori Howes Anderson. This book, I feel like it's not famous. Well, it is kind of famous, I guess, but it's one of those books that I probably should have read in high school, but I didn't. But what I gathered from the synopsis, it's basically about this girl who's bullied. And something happened one night. I think she was drunk. She was at a party. Yeah, and the cops were called, so I assume she was, I don't know. I'm assuming she was drinking. And something happened at that party, and then I think she says something and like everything falls apart. That's what I gathered from the synopsis. I have no idea what this book is about. I haven't really heard anybody talk about it, so I'm curious to see how I like it. But I mean, it won the National Book, well, it was a National Book Award finalist. So maybe that means it didn't win, but it like made it to the finals. I don't know. I'm curious to see how this one is too. All right, next up we got Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. I don't think I've actually read any Rainbow Rowell. I have a couple books on my shelf, but I haven't actually read any yet. So, what I gathered from this, it's a kind of like a love story. That's what the dust jacket says. Over the course of the next school year, the story of 2 star-crossed 16-year-olds, smart enough to know that first love almost never lasts, but brave and desperate enough to try. It sounds sweet, and they're both wearing headphones, so I'm assuming it's a little bit geeky too. which I like, which Rainbow Brow wrote Fangirl, and that sounded pretty geeky. I feel like I drop the book at least once per video, which I have Fangirl on my shelf, which I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's right there. But I haven't read that one yet. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This will be my first Rainbow Brow. And again, I dropped it again. I'm telling y'all, it's been a day. I had clinical today, and I came home, and I'm like, I'm supposed to upload a video tomorrow. So, yeah. If I seem a little bit off, that's why. I'm just tired and I'm trying to be energetic. All right, so that is it. That is my November TBR. I know that there's going to be more books on here that I read that aren't on here. And there's probably going to be books that are on here that I don't end up getting to. Because that's what happens every month. But I like kind of having a general guide / outline, so if I'm stuck and I'm like, I don't know what to read, I can just be like, oh, well, I had this on my list of stuff that I wanted to read this month, so let me just go with this one. So that's the main reason why I do TBRs. It helps keep me on track in reading. So that's it for today. I'm going to quit talking. I gotta go make dinner and feed my dogs and do some yoga and just decompress from the day, and also read. I should probably go read. I have this huge stack of books I need to read, so I'm gonna go read, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!